every device, the buttons are in a different spot. Oh, but thank God for technology, or we would not be here. So, before we start, I just want to share a little story. And it's a true story. So years ago, when I had a little more energy, I was pretty active in work with Tibet, protesting and going to Washington and things like that. And there was a story that was shared about China, the way China, you're not allowed to have a religion, and the Tibetan people are really mistreated. And there was a group of monks that would have to travel from place to place to place. And they brought this clay Buddha with them everywhere they went. And the Buddha, was a statue, because the Chinese government would destroy any religious statues or anything like that. And wherever they set camp, there was one monk whose job was to spend the night with this Buddha. If it was raining, under the tarp, just protecting it. And after traveling from place to place to place, one night one of the monks saw a sparkle, didn't know what it was, and took his flashlight and looked, and there seems to be like gold underneath. And he started to pick at it. And the more he picked at it, and the clay started to fall away, he found out that it was a completely made of gold statue of Buddha. And years ago, someone decided that they were going to cover it with clay to make it less valuable, so they'd be less vulnerable to people stealing it or whatever. So when that story was told to me, the reason it was told was the symbolism behind it is that so many times we are that clay Buddha. We cover ourselves with mud, right? We block that golden light that's inside of us. And one of the ways we do that is self-judgment. So it ties in beautifully with Swami Kripalu, who said the highest form of spiritual practice, right? It's not an asana, not breath work, not chanting, is self-observation without judgment. So let's close our eyes and sit up nice and tall. Let the chin drop to the chest. And take a few breaths here, breathing into the body. And imagining what that feels like when we do come into those moments of self-observation without judgment, when we do allow our inner light, our true worth to shine through the mud, and just those thoughts that come, those old tapes, stories we were told. So our yoga is our chisel and our flashlight. As we move through the practice, finding those moments where we can let our authentic self shine through by taking that step back and just observing. Thoughts will come, right? But if we can observe without becoming attached, and I heard it said in a class and I loved it, like imagine your thoughts are cars, and you can take note of the colors, the make, the model. Just don't get in it and take a ride, right? Let it come, let it go, let them pass. Let's start to deepen the breath into the belly. Deep breath in, feeling the belly expand. And as you exhale, drop the chin a little closer to the chest and let those shoulders relax away from the ears, squeezing the navel to the spine at the end of that exhalation. And let's move from that deep belly breath, move the breath into the ribs, feeling the ribs expand in all four directions. Exhaling completely. And then moving into our Dirga 3-part breath, from the belly to the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones. And spending a few moments here with the breath, feeling the breath as it moves through the body. With every inhalation, allowing the chest to become full of that breath, creating this openness in the heart chakra. And as we exhale, just releasing whatever it is standing in your way this morning. And take 3 deep breaths like that, setting an intention for this morning's practice, letting it be whatever it is you need. Anything I lead up here that doesn't feel right, change it. Do something else, sit it out. One more deep 3-part breath like that. And as we exhale completely, flip the palms, slide them to the knees, drop the chin to the chest, and start to make these little circles with the spine, starting with the belly in and the back pressing behind you over to one side as we come forward, arching, and then taking it in the other direction. And so finding these little circles, almost like a seated cat and cow, but circling the spine and taking it side to side. And so notice, normally we'll do this in one direction for a few rounds. So just notice if there was a reaction to that. Hey, what are we doing here? Usually we do it differently. Next time we come over towards that left side, bring it back forward and pause. Drop the chin to the chest and take the left ear over towards the left shoulder. If you want a deeper stretch, walk the right fingers down towards the mat and away from you and breathe into that right side of the neck. And just take a full breath in here as you exhale, let the chin drop down towards the chest and inhale back up. If those fingers walked out, bring them back to the knee, bring the head up through center, big breath in, drop right ear to right shoulder. Maybe walk the left fingers out to the left. Big breath in, drop the chin towards the chest. Inhale up through center, bring the head and the hands back. And then sweep the arms out, let the eyes open as we bring the fingertips way overhead, let the head drop back. Let the hands meet in prayer and exhale the hands to heart. Follow the fingers with the gaze as we take 3 big sun breaths here, breathing here. Exhale, coming down. One more time, coming up, and hands come to the heart. Let's reverse that. Sweep the fingers up towards the sky. Press the palms together, then flip the palms and slowly let them come down to the earth, chin to chest. 2 more times. Really press those palms, elbows out to the side, beginning to wake the body up. Once more like that. Letting the palms come back to the earth. Take that left palm down, sweep that right arm up and over, bending into that left elbow. Notice how that feels. Press the right hip down. As we reach through those right fingers and then inhale coming up, take that up and over to the other side. Beautiful, guys. Well, let's do this a little bit side to side. Warming up. And when that left hand reaches over to the right, let that be our last time like this, side to side. Just bring both arms up to the sky. Take a breath, shoulders drop down, and as we exhale, gently look towards the left. Right hand finds the left knee or thigh, and the left hand comes behind. Press the fingers down and lift the heart. And on the exhalation, squeeze the belly, move the shoulders together. Unwind through center, bring those arms up and take that twist over to the other side. Nice length on the inhale, squeeze the belly in as we exhale, turning towards the right. Let's come on back through center, interlace the fingers, flip the palms away, chin to chest, round the spine, seated cow, cat pose, and inhale, rise up, seated cow. And 2 more times like that, just moving through flexion and extension, a good opportunity to see how the body showed up this morning. Pausing the next time those arms Reach up towards the sky, shoulders are down, nice long spine. See if we can wiggle out of that waist and just get a tiny bit longer here. And on an exhale, use the right hand to pull the left fingers up and over. Coming into a seated half moon pose. Inhale back through center and take it over to the other side. Let's rise back up as we exhale. Let the fingers come down alongside the body and just close the eyes and notice if anything started to shift with the breath and the movement. And release the legs out. If they're crossed, uncross them. Give them a little shake, taking the toes up and then pressing them down. And bend the knees and take the feet nice and wide. Bring the hands behind the body to support and start to gently windshield wipe those knees. Noticing how the hips are showing up this morning. Relaxing shoulders, make sure they're not up around the ears. And let those knees drop over to the right side. Right, come down, extend that left leg out and sweep the left fingers up and over so that they're pointing towards that back side of the mat. Inhale, rising, and take the fingers up and over to the other side. 2 times like this. Big circles. Imagine that we're painting beautiful rainbows. And the next time that the left hand finds the mat, pause here, find that length, right? Nice long spine. And on an exhale, turn the body towards that back corner of the mat. See if it would feel good to lower the forearms, block, drop the head, and breathe. So we're in a twist, long spine, right? Tailbone pressing down, imagining we have a little puppy dog tail that we can tuck between our legs. Nice long spine, and with the exhalation, squeezing out all that air and finding a slightly deeper twist. So we let the body move into the twist itself. Start to walk the hands back towards the body, press up on an exhale, take those knees up and over, left hand down to the mat, that right leg extends, and we sweep the right fingers up, and as we exhale, we touch the mat, and then inhale, rising up and touch it on the opposite side. And then 2 more times like that, creating those big, beautiful rainbows. And then allowing that right hand to find the mat, walking the fingers really close to the body so the spine can be long. Gently turning towards that back corner of the mat. And as we exhale, lowering down. Forearms, maybe block. Long spine. As we exhale, letting the head drop, maybe the eyes closed, relaxing into the twist. And allowing the body to move into the twist on its own. As we exhale, you might notice that the body will turn just a tiny bit more. Walk the hands back towards the body. We're going to come up on our knees and face the left side of the mat. Just for a moment here. And set yourself up into tabletop. Whatever that looks like for you, right? We could start with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then walk the hands out or up. Maybe the knees come a little further apart so that your body is nice and comfortable here. And if your body is not comfortable here, you can come to a stand. That's where we're heading. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, take a big breath, and as we exhale, press into cat pose. As we inhale, dropping the belly, shoulders down, lift the gaze, and exhale, reversing to cat. And now check in on the spine and see if you can feel that spine articulate as we move through flexion and extension. Notice if there's any areas where it seems to stick or maybe feels really good in one spot. You might want to stay there for a breath while everyone else breathes in and out of their cat and cow. And the next time that we come into cat pose, continue pressing back, hips to heels, child's pose. Just 3 breaths here in child's pose. And I know for some of you, child's pose is not your favorite. So if you need to come up, please do. Otherwise, walking the hands just a little bit out to the left side, getting that stretch on the right, coming through center, coming over to the opposite side, walking hands to right, getting the stretch on the left. Let's come through center and tuck the toes and lift the hips, finding downward facing dog. Bending the knees a lot, walking the feet, one heel towards the mat as we come high on the other toes. Just kind of walking those legs out. See if you can take the weight out of the wrist by pressing into the thumb and the first finger, maybe even lifting those wrists up off the mat. And then bend the knees a lot, come high on the toes and send the hips all the way away from you. Nice long spine. That's what this pose is about. As you exhale, gently letting the heels drop towards the mat. They may not touch. That's okay. And breathe. And notice if you're judging this pose, right? Are you judging how you look in it, how you feel in it? And see if you can change that dialogue to something differently. Bend the knees, look between the fingers, and walk the feet towards the hands. And then turn towards the long end of the mat and find a ragdoll pose. Opposite hands to elbows, belly on thighs, head drops completely as we gently shake the head, yes and no, and let the body sway. Side to side. Bringing the palms to the thighs. Find a nice long spine. Take a breath. As we exhale, begin to press the hands into the thighs and bringing the body up to stand. Taking the shoulders and rolling them up a bit, up and back. Take a nice wide stance with the feet wider than hips. I want you to take, leading with the elbow, start to take these big shoulder rolls, right? Just coming side to side. So a little different than our twisting, our empty coat sleeves. This time we're side to side with shoulders rolling up and back. And then see if it would feel good to make these big arm movements, coordinating the movement with the breath. Just warming up the joints of the body. And then slowing that motion down, coming back to the shoulder rolls, and coming back to center. We're going to move our body all the way towards the right side of the mat. We're going to take our block and bring it right in the middle. Bringing the feet hip width apart. So anyone who's been with me for a while knows what this means if we're moving the body to the right side of the mat, right? Moon salutations. Yay! Let's press the feet into the floor. Bring the hands to the hips and a little bend to the knees and straighten the legs. Then come on up and take the tailbone, pressing it down, belly in, right? Finding that foundation. Feet are like a number 11, and then make any modifications you need to make here. Taking the shoulders, rolling them up, down, and back like we just did. Then fingers reach towards the floor as we find a little length in the spine. Chin is slightly tucked down to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Right? Imagine lifting through the crown of the head. Close the eyes and take a breath here. Feeling our Tadasana pose, our mountain pose, the strength. And breathe into the heart and send a beautiful message to your body, something positive, that I am strong, I am capable. Then open the eyes and sweep the arms above the head with an inhalation. Interlace the fingers, release the point across the thumb. Reach up and all the way over to the right and send the hips to the left. Coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Press into that left foot. Getting all this length in the right side and then press into the right foot and see if you can keep the length on the left and put a little more length on the right. Breathing here, lifting the chin, shoulders are down, and with every inhalation, finding a little bit of length, and with every exhale, can you relax whatever it isn't necessary to hold in this pose, right? Checking in with the eyes, the jaw. Inhale up through center. Take that all the way over to the other side, reaching to the left. Using that left hand to pull that right arm up and over, pressing into the feet. First, That right foot, feel the length on the right side, then into the left foot, breathing here. It's shoulders down, using the breath to find a little more space on that inhale. And as we exhale, relaxing what we can. Inhale back to center and take that left foot and step it out nice and wide. Turn the toes out. Bring the elbows out to the side. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Bend the knees, coming into our goddess pose. Breathing here, big breath in. As we inhale, reach up and find five-pointed star. As we exhale, come on back to goddess. Do that 2 more times, and your goddess is a very personal goddess, right? Maybe it's a really deep bend this morning. Maybe the legs are straight. Just pausing here in goddess pose, big breath in. As we exhale, bring the hands to the thighs. Thumb on the outside, 4 fingers on the inside. Find a nice long spine and take that right shoulder towards the left knee. Beautiful stretch. Inhale up through center, taking left shoulder over to right knee. Come on back through center. Press the feet into the mat. Start to straighten the legs and bring those arms up and out. One more time, finding five-pointed star. We're going to turn the left toes to the left and kick that right heel in. Let the arms float down to position. Take a breath coming out of the waist and reach, reach, reach through those left fingertips. And come on back up. Do that one more time. Reach, reach, reach. And as we exhale, let the left hand come down to the thigh, calf, shin, ankle, maybe that block. That's why we put it in the middle of the mat. And then take the right fingers up towards the sky so that the arms are like a clock at 6 o'clock. Like reaching up, reaching down. And as we breathe here, you may notice the body gives you a little more space. So once upon a time, the cue was like we're between 2 panes of glass, and then they realized our bodies don't move that way. So it's about lifting through those right fingertips, down with the left, rolling that right shoulder back and opening up the heart and chest. Then take the crown of the head and reach it as far from the tailbone as you can. Lengthen the spine. Use that right hand to pull you back up. Arms come back to position, and we bend into that left knee, finding our warrior 2 pose. As we inhale, the arms sweep up, hands meet in prayer. As we exhale, the palms turn down, we bend the knee and gaze over the left fingertips. 2 more times like that. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming down. 1 more time like that. Big breath in and exhale down. Beautiful. Taking the gaze over those left fingers, press into the pinky side of the right foot. So the entire foot is pressing into the mat. And take 2 deep breaths here. Breathing, shoulders relax away from the ears on the exhale. Flipping the left palm towards the ceiling. And the next time we inhale, the left fingers reach up as the right hand comes down. Peaceful warrior. Notice the neck and the shoulders. Are we holding any tension there? Take the gaze and look down at the right foot. Right, reach up through the left fingers, keeping that left knee bent. Notice if that changed anything in the neck and the shoulders. As we inhale, look back up at those left fingertips. Big breath in, exhale, arms float back down. Warrior 2. Bring the right hand to the hip and just reach out and let that left elbow find the thigh. And then press the right hip down. Make sure that left knee never crosses the ankle. And we're going to sweep the right fingertips down towards the mat and inhale them up and around. And do that 2 more times. And opening the shoulder. The next time the arm reaches up towards the sky, pause. As we exhale, bicep by the ear, reaching right fingers to the left, finding extended side angle. And breathing here. Notice if the toes are gripping the mat and see if you can relax that. If you want to take this a little bit further, you can walk the hand to the calf or the shin. And then inhale to rise back up. Bring the hands to the hips and slide the right foot just a little bit closer. And turn the hips towards the left small end of the mat. Hands on the hips. Bring that left hip back, right hip forward. Watch that back knee. And sweep the arms above the head. Take a big breath in. As we exhale, let the hands come behind us. Interlace the fingers, shoulders down and back. Lift the heart and drop the head, stargaze. Breathing here, big breath in. Lifting the heart with every inhale. As we exhale, press the feet into the mat and pull those knuckles down towards that right end of your mat. Watch the lower back, right? Continue with that little tucking of the tail so that the back bend is coming from the upper part, middle and upper part of the back. And then keeping the shoulders down and back, come back to a nice flat back, press into both feet, and then hinge at the hips. Watch that left hip. It's going to want to pop forward. Keep pressing it back. Press into both feet. Reach the knuckles back. Crown of the head forward. Stay at tabletop, or if you're not feeling this in that left thigh, continue coming down, but with a flat back. We don't want to round here. Belly in, chin lifted, shoulders down and back. Breathing here. Inhale to rise back up. Bring the hands to the hips and come up on the toes of that right foot. Sweep the arms above the head and shift all the weight into the left foot. And start reaching the fingers forward and maybe just lifting and lowering those right toes. Maybe that's enough, or maybe coming into a warrior three balance here. Using the breath, watching that inner dialogue. As we inhale, we rise. Bring the hands to the hips and gently turn, face the long end of the mat. Bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. Bend the knees, chin to chest, and breathe. Notice what's happening. And maybe you feel the heart beating under that palm. Maybe you notice that the breath became shallow, got away from you, especially in a balancing posture. Okay, can we turn up the corners of the lips and smile? And just have fun here, regardless of how you react to the postures or the sequence or the flow. Our practice mimics life, right? There are times on the mat that we find really pleasurable, and other times when we go, ugh, seriously, is this where she's bringing us? Right? Strengthening our container. Can we learn to just breathe through it and ride those waves? Let's open the eyes and take it back the other way. Right? Inhale, the arms come up, interlace the fingers, release the point across the thumb. This time we reach all the way to the right and let the hips slide out to the left. Take a big breath in. So we've been here before, pressing into the feet, finding that length as we inhale, and finding a little bit of release as we exhale. Breathing in and letting everything go as we exhale. Let's inhale back up through center, take it all the way over to the other side, reach to the left. Notice if the shoulders are rolling down, if the chest is facing the mat, right? We want to roll that right shoulder up so it's just above the left. The heart is facing forward, pressing into the feet, and then relaxing the neck and breathing here. It's a side stretch, right? The face, the jaw, that doesn't come into play in this pose. Inhale to rise back up. This time it's the right foot that takes that big step. We're going to turn the toes out, bend the elbows, and bend the knees and find our goddess pose. And take a moment here in goddess, right? Shifting the weight into the heels, lifting the toes, then gently placing the toes back on the mat. See if you need to make an adjustment. Maybe hands come to the hips or the thighs. Maybe the legs straighten, maybe you come a little deeper. And then inhale, find 5-pointed star. Exhale, coming down to goddess pose. And a few more times like that, just flowing. You guys look Amazing. And the next time we come into goddess, we're going to pause, bring the palms down, right thumb on the outside, 4 fingers on the inside, big breath in. This time it's the left shoulder crosses towards the right knee, coming into that twist. Inhale up through center, take it to the other side. That should feel really good on the lower back. Come on back up, bring the arms up, and then straighten those legs, finding 5-pointed star. Arms float down, T position. Press into the right heel, pivot the right toes, and kick that left heel back a bit. Put a little bend into the right knee. That knee never crosses the ankle. As we inhale, arms float up, hands meet in prayer. The gaze follows the hands. As we exhale, float back down. Gaze over, right fingers bend the right knee. 2 more times like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. 1 more time. And then holding in our warrior 2. Reaching through the left fingers, reaching through the right. So nothing should be sharp. No sharp pain or sensation in the joints. The breath should be flowing. A deep breath in as we ride those waves. Flip that right palm. Inhale, right arm up, left hand drops. Peaceful warrior. Let's take the gaze down to the left side of the mat. Just noticing how that changes the neck and the shoulders. And then keeping the shoulders and necks relaxed. Just inhale and switch the gaze and look at that raised right hand. 1 more breath here. Exhaling the arms back to warrior 2. Dropping the elbow to the thigh. And beginning to sweep the left fingers up and around. Making these big circles. 3 times. And the next time the left fingers reach towards the sky, we pause. Drop that left hip. And as we exhale, bicep by the ear. Left fingers reaching to the right. 1 line of energy from the fingers down to that left foot. So that entire pinky side of the foot is pressing in the mat. And we're breathing. Inhale to rise back up and straighten that front leg. Hands to hips. Extend through the right fingers. And do that little hinge as we hinge forward and come back up. The next time we reach through the right fingers, let the arms come into that 6 o'clock. Right? Left fingers reach up, right hand to the thigh, calf, shin, ankle block. Whatever supports your practice this morning. Take a big breath, and as we exhale, see if you can just find a tiny bit of length in that spine. Shoulders are stacked, one on top of the other. If there's issues with the shoulder, try bringing the hand down to the lower back or the hip, even if it's just for a moment, and then reaching the hand back up. These tiny little adjustments. And then using that raised left hand to bring you back up, hands to hips, slide the back foot a little closer, and turn towards that short end of the mat. So that right hip is pressing back, left forward. We want to keep that back knee comfortable. And so we're not completely squared to the mat. You'll hear that cue. Our bodies don't move that way. Not anymore. Let's interlace the fingers. Take a breath, press into the feet, and lift the heart as the shoulder blades come down and back. We tuck the tail so it's a nice long spine, no compression in that lower back. And drop the head, coming into stargazer. Take a few breaths here. Breathing, using the exhalation to relax the shoulders, the inhalation to send some breath to the chest. Next time we exhale, just bringing the body up, keeping the shoulders down and back. Press into the feet like we're splitting the mat apart. Hinging at the hips, nice long spine, chin is lifted. Take the knuckles back behind you as we take that right hip back. And we come into tabletop to start and breathe, assessing where our body's needs are this morning. And if we want to take this a little bit further, let the head drop down. Just nice and slow, feeling that sensation down the back of the right leg. Arms can come all the way up and over. And using those lifted hands to bring you back up. Hands on hips, turn towards the front of the mat, walk that left foot towards the right. Sweep the arms above the head, interlace the fingers, release the point across the thumb, reach to the right as the hips slide to the left. Big breath in. Inhale through center, take it up and over to the other side. Breathing. Coming back up through center, and as we exhale, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close the eyes, chin to chest. And notice, and feel, and watch, and allow. Feeling the imprint of that moon flow on the body, on the mind, and the breath. Beginning to deepen the breath. Take one more deep breath here. And then opening the eyes, we're just going to come back down to the mat any way that feels good for you. Come back to that seat. Bring the hands, palms to the knees. Find that nice long spine. Close the eyes. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. So the eyes closed or soft gaze. Using the breath. And just noticing. Taking a moment here, right, checking in on the body, checking in on the breath. And then opening the eyes and bringing those feet to the floor with the knees bent, bringing the hands behind. Let's cross the right ankle over the left leg and walk the hands a little bit closer, getting this little stretch to the right hip and thigh. Find a gentle rock from side to side. So I just realized we missed warrior 3 on the other side. I apologize. Let's switch, pressing left over right, a little gentle rock, side to side. Okay, now we gotta come back up and finish our gotta do it, guys. Sorry. So we've got right foot in front, left behind. So that's the pitta in me. I would be off balance all day if we didn't do both sides. Inhale, bring the arms above the head. Come up on those back toes. Shift the weight into the front foot. Pause here. And then start to reach the fingers forward, gently lifting and lowering. Right? Maybe we want to stay with the toes down, especially if we're having any issues with balance. Or on the next exhalation, bringing the body into some version of warrior 3 balance. Right? The fingers can be lifted and above as we lift that leg. Maybe you prefer the arms out to the side or reaching behind. Hands on hips. Breathing here. Big breath in. As we inhale, we rise back up. And as we exhale, we're going to make our way down to our belly. Extending the legs out, coming down to the mat. One hand on top of the other. And rest the forehead on the back of the hands and breathe. Let's bend the knees and bring the feet up. And find a gentle windshield wipe from side to side. So the rest of the practice will be down on the mat. A slow and gentle, restorative type. Let's release the feet down. And take that right elbow out to the right. Bring the right knee up towards it. Drop the head on the upper left arm. And breathe. Coming into half frog pose. So if you have a full frog and you want to go into that, please do. Breathing here. We're in that half frog, just gently rolling into that right side on the exhalation. We'll take 2 more really deep, slow breaths here. And then bring that right leg back, bring the arms up and over, and take that to the other side. Left elbow reaching towards the left knee, resting the head on the upper right arm. Breathing here. And then we adjust the stretch, the intensity by moving that knee out or up, flexing the foot. Right, what would feel good in the body as we exhale, just rolling a little bit towards that left side. Two more deep breaths here. And then exhaling that leg back. Let's come back to crocodile, one hand on top of the other, forehead resting on the back of the hands. And breathe, feeling the belly pressing into the mat. Feel the expansion on the inhale, the release on the exhale. And then pressing the hands into the mat, bringing yourself up and just sliding yourself towards one edge of the mat so we can turn over onto the back. And as you move your way onto the back, you want to grab your strap, maybe a block, have it close by. Just turning onto the back, bending the knees, and bringing the feet hip width distance, and walking the heels close to the butt. And take the palms down, forearms down, and lift the hips and bring them a little bit closer to the heels, creating a little more space in the lower back and then lower down. And we want to get rid of that little curve in the lower back. Keep pulling the belly in and pressing that part of the back into the mat. Press into the hands, press into the feet, and on an exhale, just hug those knees into the chest. Find a little rocking side to side. Massaging the lower back. Bringing the feet up towards the sky, bringing those legs straight, and point and flex the feet, right? Bringing the toes back towards the face and then up towards the sky. Support the legs by holding the back of the thighs. And then open into a nice wide V. Take the toes down, flexing the feet. And as we exhale, point the toes and cross one leg over the other. And then flex the toes, flex the feet, toes down. And exhale, point the toes and cross. Let's just do this a few times, opening and closing. And you can use the hands for resistance, right? Helping as the legs open, and then maybe resisting or helping as they close. The next time that the right leg crosses over the left, pause and just bend the knees. And then either hugging the knees into the chest or walking the hands to the calves, shins, ankles, pulling those legs in towards the body, keeping that nice long spine, right? Pressing everything into the mat and breathing. So a form of cow face or gomukhasana, but down on the back, a lot easier on the joints and the knees. Let's just breathe here, feeling the sensation in the back of the legs. So you might feel a little bit more in that right hip. Let's release the legs up one more time. Nice wide V. And then cross and bend the knees. Hug the knees in towards the chest, or see if the hands will walk down to the ankles, shins, maybe the feet. This time feeling it in the left hip or glute. And remember, we want to breathe through it, never any pain. It's a nice pose for undoing all of the sitting that we do all day long. So release those legs back up, and as we exhale, knees bent, the feet find the mat again. Palms alongside body, lift the hips and scooch them a little closer to the heels, creating that length. Press the palms and the feet into the mat and start to lift the hips up. And as we exhale, lower back down. Just do that 2 more times. A slow, small lift of the hips. We're not coming into a full bridge. Lowering down. And the next time we press into the feet, lifting halfway. See if it would feel good to either lift all the way into bridge or find that block and place it beneath the sacrum. Right? So not at the lower back. Maybe bring the palms to the belly, coming into a supported bridge pose. Just allowing the body to rest here. So switching from doing to receiving. And with every exhale, can you feel the support beneath you? Just allow the body to let go a tiny bit. Noticing that the body may be cooling down a bit, right? When we were in our moon salutation, maybe you were feeling the heat. Now allowing the body to rest, coming into these passive poses. Big breath in. And as we exhale, bringing the knees up and bringing the feet up, coming into a supported half shoulder stand. Maybe the hands come to the block. If this doesn't feel good, you can remove the block or you can do a legs up the wall. Just breathing gently here. Inhaling and exhaling. Seeing if you can feel that reverse of the blood flow. Check in on the corners of the eyes and the jaw. Can you relax them just a little bit more? And take 3 more deep breaths here. Long, slow. And with every exhalation, just imagining any stress rolling off with that exhale, any worries, any cares. And bending the knees, letting the feet find the floor, lifting the hips and removing that block. Letting the hips come back down to the mat and walking the feet out as wide as the mat and letting the knees gently rest on each other. One more time, the hands to the belly. Breathing deep into the belly. And exhale, letting it go. Feeling the rhythm of the breath. As we inhale and exhale. And releasing the legs, interlacing the fingers, palms overhead. Flip the palms, press the palms away, point the toes, a great big stretch like we're just waking up, wiggling a little out of the hips. And then hug that right knee and kick the left heel away. Using the exhalations to pull that right leg a little closer. Entire spine pressing into the mat. So imagine we're leaving a spinal imprint on our mat. Shoulders are down. Chin is slightly tucked. Gaze at the heart. Padanamutasana. Breathing here. Find that great big stretch again. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms, point the toes, get really long in the body. And as we exhale, it's the left knee that bends as that leg comes closer to the body. And we kick the right heel away, toes up towards the sky. Breathing here. A big breath in. Feel that constriction on the left side. As we inhale and as we exhale, can we get that leg just a little bit closer? Releasing, flip palms overhead, point toes, great big stretch. And then hug both knees into the chest. Gently creating circles here. So bringing one hand to each knee and start by circling in the same direction. Right, reversing, circle the other way. Then coming through center, big toes together, and take the knees in towards the chest and then press them out to the side, push them away and bring them back together. Froggy legs. Right, notice the sensation in the lower back and the hips as we do this. So our movement is magic for the joints. Let's circle in the other direction. So sometimes when the joints are cranky, when we're not feeling well, the last thing we want to do is move, and it's the best thing that we can do. Okay, let's let those legs come back to the floor. And just bend the right knee and bring the right foot on the left leg. And it doesn't matter if it's on the knee here because we're not putting any pressure on it. Bring the arms out, T position, and start to gently tick-tock that right leg from side to side like a metronome. And see what movement would feel good. Maybe this is a really small movement, or maybe the right hip lifts as the knee reaches over to the left. We find a little rocking here. And then let that right knee drop all the way to the right and bring the sole of the right foot up against the left leg. We are in a reclined tree position. You may want to take that block and just rest the right knee on it for support. And breathe here, pressing that right knee down and out, creating a gentle opening in the right hip. So tree can be challenging with the balance, with the positioning of the foot. So we take it down on the mat. It's a beautiful version that allows that right hip to open without creating any tension in other areas. Let's bring that right knee up, and as we exhale, just bring the right leg down to the mat and bend the left knee. And then take that left foot to the right leg. Just gently rest it wherever it lands. It could be the thigh, calf, shin. It's even okay for it to be on the knee as long as you're not pressing. And start that gentle tick-tock side to side with the left. And maybe it's a small movement, or maybe the hips lift as the knee goes side to side, creating this little massage. Then come through center, take a breath, and drop that left knee out to the side and let the left foot rest on the inside of the right leg. And again, beautiful option is a block or a blanket under that left knee as we breathe in our reclined tree pose. Breathing deep into the belly. Using the exhalation, finding a little more space. Right, relaxing what we can. Watching our thoughts, our emotions, our reactions, and allowing whatever it is to pass through us. Big breath in as we exhale, releasing left leg down, scanning the body from head to toe, and seeing if there's any other movement that the body is looking for. Maybe another knee hug, maybe a rock, a happy baby, something that we didn't do. And then when you're ready, preparing for relaxation. So if you're chilly, covering up, blanket, maybe sweatshirt, socks, whatever it is. So I left some extra time for relaxation. And so it's a wet, dreary day. It's a kapha day. Kapha is earth and water. And when there's a kapha overload, we're also in the kapha time of day. Imbalance in kapha can lead to sluggishness, sometimes depression if it's prolonged. So that's why we started with a little bit of fire, right? With the moon salutation, the movement, and then we take it down, right? Burn off that excess kapha and rest and relaxation. So adjusting the body in any way so that it can be comfortable for the next few minutes. I know some of you may have to leave at 11. So I want you guys to know it's always okay to come for as little, if you join us a little bit later, even coming just for Shavasana, right? This is your practice. Take a breath, and as you exhale, let everything go. Coming back to that image, that story from the beginning of class. Right? How do we cover ourselves in clay and dim our beautiful shine, our beautiful authentic self? Can we welcome that love and that light? Can we observe without judging? Can we release those stories that no longer serve us? So breathing and feeling the breath as it moves through the body and tapping into that prana, that life force. And imagining that breath has a color, a light, so a beautiful golden light. As we inhale, we bring this light right into the heart. And as we exhale, we send it to every cell, washing over the body, bathing the body in love and acceptance, kindness, support. With every inhalation, this light becomes brighter, and with every exhale, it spreads until the body's completely enveloped in a beautiful cocoon of loving, healing energy. And then imagine your cocoon, your light, connecting with the light of the others who are practicing with us this morning. Seeing that light spread, connect, creating this web of safety, friendship, companionship, and feeling the love and the energy and the support of everyone who's practicing with us this morning. This Sangha will carry us through. Let the breath become its natural breath here. No manipulating, just coming and going. And with every exhale, let the body come a little deeper. Relaxing, feeling the support of the floor beneath you. Feeling the head resting, the hips, maybe shoulder blades. Notice all the places that are touching. And as you exhale, relaxing into that support, And then releasing all the little spaces in between. Feeling the peacefulness of the breath as it moves through the body, and knowing that this is accessible at all times, just by shifting your attention to the body and the breath. Becoming that observer and not the reactor. Begin to soften the soles of the feet and all 10 toes, the heels and the arches, the top of the feet. Relaxing the ankles, the calves and shins, the knees, kneecaps, the thighs, the hips, seat muscles, and the pelvis. Relaxing the belly, the middle and upper back, the waist, the sides of the torso, the heart and the chest. Relax the shoulders and shoulder blades, and the arms, upper arms and elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, all 10 fingers. Relaxing the throat, the back of the neck, all of the muscles of the face, the scalp, jaw, temples, the eyes, the eyelids, the forehead, and the little space between the eyebrows. And just for a few moments, allowing the breath to move through the body to breathe the breath breathing the body. And noticing how amazing this body is, carrying us through life. Sending some gratitude out to every cell in the body. Thanking it for the way it moved this morning. And then sending out a prayer for healing. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May they have love in their heart and peace in all of their encounters. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Begin to gently deepen the breath and bring some movement back, wiggling fingers and toes if it feels good. A big stretch, like we're just waking up. You can rock the head side to side. And when you feel ready, gently rolling onto one side. Finding a fetal position, resting the head on the upper arm, hugging the knees in towards the chest. As we transition back, and just noticing the effect of this morning's practice. And how you felt when we first sat down on the mat, how you feel now. Maybe it's the same. Maybe there was some little shift. Whatever it is, thanking yourself for taking the time and coming and joining this morning. And then whenever you're ready, gently coming to any comfortable seat to close out the class, joining the hands at the heart and bowing the head to the heart. And looking and listening for any messages our heart might have for us this morning. Our heart speaks to us all the time. We're usually too busy to hear what it has to say. And know that my heart is so full, continuing to share this journey with you. It's such an honor to share yoga, and I really thank you guys for showing up and continuing to show up. Namaste. If you guys can unmute.